marketers, welcome back to Coffee with Comarch Loyalty. I'm your host, Bindu Gupta. If you are a loyalty marketing geek just like me and you want to learn how JetBlue uses their technology to create amazing experiences with their loyalty program, then don't go anywhere. We have with us the manager of JetBlue's IT loyalty team, who is responsible for all the technology that supports JetBlue's TrueBlue loyalty program. Please raise your coffee mugs for Kevin Rahl. Welcome, Kevin. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you so much. So glad to be here.
Cheers. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with the company, your background? We'd love to learn more about you.
Sure thing. So my name's Kevin Rahl, and as you mentioned, I'm the manager of the IT loyalty team at JetBlue. And essentially, our team is an IT product team that is really responsible for the technology that supports our TrueBlue loyalty program. I've been with the company sort of in the loyalty space for coming up on 5 years now. Always working on the technology side of loyalty.
That's amazing. So I'm really excited to talk to you about specific technology aspects of the loyalty program, because I have spoken to so many guests and we always focus on the strategy part of it, and which is obviously very exciting, specifically given my role. But learning about the technology aspect, it's very intriguing. And I'm sure there are a lot of marketers in this space who obviously have to work with technology, but we don't know the insights and the behind the scenes. So that's why this is a really special episode for me. So first question for you, like, how are you enabling seamless experiences for your travelers, right, through your technology? This is so important nowadays, right? It has to be like the brand has to be on all the time, everywhere. So talk about specifically from your point of view, from the technology point of view, what can you share with us there?
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely top of mind with everything we do on the technology side, is to deliver seamless experiences to customers. And that's frankly, the customer's expectations. You typically, when they're interacting with an airline or, a loyalty program or a technology product today, people expect things to work as one would think they would work. So it is really important for us to be able to deliver customers points when they expect them to, allow them to redeem those points when and how they expect them to be able to do it, to deliver their benefits that they've earned through the loyalty program in a seamless way. And it's just sort of an ongoing top of mind challenge that we have with pretty much everything that we do. There's a lot of integrations and functionality and technology involved in delivering these various things, and keeping them running as frictionless as possible is I think always the goal on our side, and I think for the customers as well. Sort of what seems to be a pretty universal preference. We do have certain of course, we encourage certain situations where there needs to be some contact. Somebody needs to call in. They need to interact with a crew member at the airport for certain situations. But we really try to reserve those for special edge cases and very limited situations. Our goal is to be able to handle just about anything we can in the loyalty space, sort of automatically, seamlessly, without the customer having to take additional action on their part or spend their valuable time seeking assistance or contact. We'd like to do it as self-service as possible, and that seems to be the win-win between both the company and customers when that's possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a great point you make, that the self-service aspect needs to be seamless, obviously, especially when it's travel. And now that it's picking up so much, right? People are going back to conferences. They're kind of going back to, the pre-pandemic kind of behavior. And it's really important that it's as smooth, and also I would say even a refresher for a lot of people who haven't traveled, right, for a while, to create that connection through the technology. So that's very interesting. So another aspect, when it comes to technology is the use of data insights, right, in your loyalty tech stack. So what can you share about the importance of the data insights from a technology point of view?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, just from an operational perspective, on the loyalty technology side, there's just a huge amount of transactions and customers that are flowing through our systems every day. So when customers fly, when they earn points with our partners, airline and on the ground partners, when they have a JetBlue co-brand credit card and they're earning points through that, just the amount of data and the volume of transactions is pretty significant. But there's also a need in order to properly account for all of those points coming in and out of
True.
our systems, reconcile as well from making sure billing and all those things, especially when we're doing partners, and just points are moving to the right place, and tracking, just all of that from like an accounting and reconciliation perspective is a pretty significant data effort. But also we like to use, or we try to use our data in order to improve customer experiences where possible, and also provide them with some offers as well to earn additional points or loyalty related sort of incentives. And then we have a mosaic program for our most loyal customers as
Yep.
well, that customers who travel most with us can earn that, can earn their way into the mosaic program and receive benefits through that. So there's a fair amount of just data flow and ensuring that everything is sort of checking out, reconciling, and moving as expected, that goes into our technology operation on the loyalty side. That's really important.
Absolutely. I mean, we cannot emphasize the importance of data in each and every industry, but the travel, I think the travel space is a little bit more special in that case, just because it captures so many data points through the movement of the customer or the traveler, right? It's not just about taking the flight, it's all the things they're doing before, that what things they're doing in flight, and each and every piece of it, there is an opportunity to capture that data. Like, for example, I just came back from a conference and I was flying JetBlue, and the experience for me, was so seamless because communication was very clear, each and every point of the way. Just because I checked in and I gave permission for text messaging, I started getting updates if there was a delay, where's my gate. That's very useful to me. Like, I don't have to go deep into my inbox and look for the ticket, or even if I don't have an app, or or if I don't have the confirmation number, whatever that is. So that experience itself, the ease of moving through the huge airports is so convenient. Another thing which was really useful for me personally was you get your board and you sit in your seat, and they have everything contactless. So I didn't have to really, take out my credit card. It was all connected through my program, right? My account, and I could easily pay for stuff. So this was so convenient, and I see how, in terms of the back end of integrations and everything you do, make this come alive, and make it easier for travelers like me and so many more to have that painless experience, because travel can be stressful, and there is so much to really take care of. So that's really important what you said about data insights. Another aspect is, we talked about seamless experiences and data insights, but there's also this omni-channel experience, right? You need to be on, literally on every channel possible. So how is your technology enabling that for your members?
Yeah, I mean, so building off of your previous point too, when you think about the customer journey for flying with an airline, there's the shopping process where you're selecting, where you're going to go or what flights you're going to take, and how you're going to put your trip together. There's the actual booking and the completing of that transaction. There's checking in. There's all getting to the airport experience, boarding, being on the plane, baggage, landing, getting to your destination, and often times there's obviously a return flight or a multi-leg trip. So all those different pieces, we need to sort of get the information to each system and each step that manages each step of the way, that those systems need in order to deliver the experiences we'd like them to deliver. And so in the loyalty space, particularly in the airline space, customers can earn benefits through progressing, through various, sort of objectives and programs that sit inside of our loyalty offering. So getting those benefits to the systems that actually fulfill the benefits, like the baggage, processes and the boarding processes and the seat selection process and all of that stuff is really important, and it's really critical that those items work seamlessly. And I'd say that's one of the most challenging pieces of work on the loyalty technology side is integrating your core loyalty system, often refers to as like a loyalty management system, with all of the systems, whether they're partner systems or they're other systems that are inside of your airline or operation. Getting them all to work together and feeding the information as to what benefits or the customer has or is selected, and getting them, down to the various systems that actually need to fulfill them. It's definitely a challenge. And if you think about it, that landscape is constantly changing, and certainly for an airline, but I would imagine in most companies that have loyalty programs, where the systems that they're using for one particular process that they have to integrate with their loyalty system will be upgraded or potentially changed, and so that loyalty system needs to continue to work alongside all of those fulfillment systems and partner systems over time, which definitely keeps us very busy, continuing to keep those integrations going and deliver those experiences that we want for customers in the way that they expect them to be delivered.
Absolutely. So that's again another very important point you bring up, and I'm learning about this, the technology aspect, myself in more in depth, and the conversations about integrations are always very detailed, right? It's so many little things you need to match up and take care of, and as you said, when you upgrade the system, how you need to make sure everything which is connected is updated as well and it's working fine. So what the consumer obviously doesn't see, but in the back end, you're putting all these pieces together to give them that experience. The integrations are so very important for that. But do you see that is the process evolving in terms of system integrations? I don't know too much about the technical aspects of it, but I know there are certain specific ways of integrating. But is it evolving in your from your point of view and from your experience? Is it getting better for you to do the integrations?
For sure, yeah. There are definitely sort of like tools and standards that help systems, particularly in the context of loyalty systems, communicate and integrate. But what I would say oftentimes, and that's very helpful. It essentially, when there's standard formats and flows for transferring data between systems or between an airline and a partner airline, or an airline and a non-air partner, that's very helpful. But oftentimes it seems that when we use some of those standard flows and formats, we can speak the same language up front, but we still do things differently. So the data flows and everybody understands like what the various elements mean, and both systems, have that same perspective there. But how we actually process transactions, or how we handle things, or how we handle edge case and scenarios, that's often varies significantly between systems, integrations, and partners. And that's where we end up oftentimes spending a lot of the time, working on the engineering and customization, those kinds of things, is to, have an end-to-end flow fit into the sort of infrastructure and logic and context that both parties have inside of their own systems, to get those to sort of play together. Even when they do speak the same language, they just don't necessarily do things the same way after they've understood the language and when they actually have to take action on the data that they're getting.
Absolutely. And given, the Paisley program, right, there are so many integrations right there with these partners you have to get into. I can imagine the amount of work, involved in that. And obviously I cannot comprehend or understand all the technical aspects of it, but I really appreciate, all the effort you guys do in the back end.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously the more partners that and the more systems that you integrate with, then the more system integrations that the technology people are working on and supporting. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, there's the initial setup and launch of integrations. But then over time, there's lots of upgrades and changes that happen on various systems and with various partners that then need to be maintained. So there's a lot of maintenance work as well, in addition to the initial upfront implementations that happen when a new loyalty initiative or partnership gets launched.
Yeah, it seems like a 24/7 job, because there is no shutdown. You cannot shut down the technology. Everything will crumble. So I totally get it. So speaking of technology, what is the most important aspect according to you? When you are picking the right loyalty technology partner, what are the key things based on your experience? You feel like a must in a technology partner.
Two things come to mind there. I would say the first thing is having a solid foundation of your core loyalty platform is probably, a non-negotiable piece there. So being able to sort of handle the accounts that you'd like to handle, the transactions that you'd like to handle, and sort of having that all buttoned up with a very solid foundation, I think is, a core layer and absolutely critical. I would say the next piece that comes to mind, though, is the ability to handle complex system integrations and adapt to that. So there's various customizations that need to be done in order to integrate your loyalty technology systems with whatever other systems you have in your operation or whatever systems your partners may have. And so being able to be flexible, be able to translate how other systems work into how your system works and allow those two pieces to work together is definitely, I would say very critical in my mind, is selecting the right loyalty technology partner. And I will say that we do work with Comarch as our loyalty management system, and we've actually been with them for over 10 years on two different platforms of Comarch. So they've been with us through many system changes, upgrades, partnerships, and all sorts of things. And so being able to sort of keep pace with the needs of and the rate of change from a technology perspective and from a business perspective with your company, I think is definitely a critical thing that I would recommend people take a good look at. Does that strategy align with their business and loyalty strategy?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Like, those two things which you mentioned are non-negotiable, right? That's the very core of a strong loyalty platform, and that should be the key, for picking the right partner. So, well, that's amazing. I loved all the insights. I loved talking about, deeper into the technology aspects of it. So thank you for that. But we're not done yet. We do have a fun challenge, our rapid fire, 10 under 1. And I'm going to set up the timer for a minute, and I'm going to throw some questions at you. Very simple, nothing embarrassing. And just say what comes to mind.
All right.
Sounds good. All right. Start. Okay. Coffee in the AM or PM?
Both.
Get travel insurance or risk it?
Travel insurance.
Chatbot or real human?
Chatbot.
Use your miles more frequently or save for a big vacation?
I like to save for a big vacation, but I think it really depends on your personal travel preferences. Yeah.
Instant rewards or tier status?
Tier status.
Tier status. Last minute trip or planned ahead?
Last minute trip.
Tap card to pay or mobile pay?
Tap card.
Tap card, okay. Pack light or pack everything?
Pack light.
Free delivery or same day delivery?
Same day.
Okay. And favorite go-to snack at the airport?
Pizza, but it really depends on what city you're in and or what country you're in.
We're out of time. Oh, thank you. We're almost out of time, actually. Oh, we just got out of time. That was great. So pizza is your favorite snack at the airport. Well, that's like a must, I would say, even if you're not hungry. So thank you so much for sharing your insights and speaking to us about the technology aspect of it. I think our listeners definitely got a lot of important insights from a technology angle. and they can add to it if they keep listening to us and watching us. So thank you, Kevin, so much for joining. Cheers to you again. And thank you, everybody else who listened in today. Stay safe and join us again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. Had a great time, and cheers as well.
Cheers.